safe at home. Today the topic is data frame. Actually we have learned data frame in your 11th standard, but in 12th standard actually you have to go for the advanced operations in data frame. So you need to know about the basics thoroughly, and you have to copy the contents shown in the slides in your notebook. So data frame is actually a two-dimensional array. It is a labeled array, which means that it has a row as well as columns which are labeled, and it's ordered collection of columns, and it stores different types of data. Different types of data means it can have numerical data, it can have string data, date data, etc. The main characteristics are it has two axes, that is rows as well as columns. Row is known as axis 0, column is known as axis 1. The value is mutable as well as size is also mutable. What do you mean by mutable? Mutable means the content can be changed after the creation of the data frame. Size is mutable means you can add columns, delete columns, add rows as well as delete the rows. Now how do you create and display the data frame? For creation of data frame, you have to import the library known as pandas, in which the data frame is being defined. You can create a data frame from any existing two-dimensional array. Here the two-dimensional array that I have taken is dictionary 1, where it contains students, marks and sports. The function to create the data frame is pd.dataframe. In that, within the brackets, you have to specify the two-dimensional array you have created. DTF1 is equal to pd.dataframe within brackets the name of the two-dimensional array. So DTF1 is the data frame now, name of the data frame created now. To print the value or to see the content of the value, we can use the print function. You just write print within bracket the name of the data frame. So the output of this green colored code is shown here in green. You can see that the first line created from dictionary is a print, the content from the print function. Next is the data frame, which contains the students, marks and sports. Next you can see in red, it is another way of creating a data frame. See, we know that DTF2 is the name of the data frame. pd.dataframe is a function name to create the data frame. Within bracket I am giving the again dictionary 1, the two-dimensional array, and I am adding one more content in this. It is the index, that is I am adding index to the data frame. So after creating the index and after creating the index for the data frame, you can see data frame 2, DTF2 is printed here in violet color. So you can see created from dictionary with index, that is a first print statement. The second print statement displays the content of the data frame. You can see the index is also now included. Now you can, another option for creating the data frame is from existing another data frame. See, PDTF3 is the new data frame and DTF2 is already existing because we already created data frame known as DTF2. So DTF3 is equal to PD data frame DTF2 within brackets DTF2. It is a function, data frame is a function creation for creation of the data frame. And now to print the value, you use again the print function. You can see the content of the same DTF2 is copied to DTF3, but you are actually displaying the third data frame. Now, before going to the details, you need to know some of the functions available in the data frames and how to access them. To get the index, we learned what is an index in data frames. To get the index alone, you have to use print DTF3.index, name of the data frame dot index. So you can see the output is, it shows the index as 1, 2, 3 and 4, which was the index in our data frame. To get the columns, you have to use data frame name dot columns, and you can see the columns in our data frame was student, mark and sports. It is shown. Next is to get the axis. The name of the data frame dot axis has to be given, and the output you can see there are two axes in our program. The first axis was a row, which is 1, 2, 3 and 4, and the another axis is column, which is student, marks and sport. You can see both the axes displayed here. Next is to how to get each columns of your data frame and to get the data types of the data column. DTF3.dtypes For getting the data types, you have to type the name of the data frame dot d types. You can see in the output, student columns data type is given, marks data types is given, sport data type is also given. Student data type is object, marks is integer value, sport is also an object. Next, to get the size, you have to use dot size, name of the data frame DTF3 dot size. You can see the output given is 12. In our data frame that we have created, there are totally 4 rows as well as 3 columns. So, total elements inside it is 12. So, the content 12 is given. Now, to get the shape of the data frame, you have DTF3 dot shape. Close the bracket. So, the content is, the output is 4, 3. That is 4 rows are there and as well as 3 columns are there. So, it constitutes the shape of the data frame. Now, how to get the dimension? It is DTF3 dot n dim. That is n dimensions, the short form of n dimension, and you will get 2. In our data frame, there was only 2 dimensions, that is rows as well as columns. So, the output is 2. To get the count of each columns in the data frame, you have to give dot count. In dot count, they will show you the column names as well as the count. If you want to get the count in the row wise, you have to specify the axis inside the bracket. So, you can see in first example or first print statement, there is nothing given inside the count function. So, it automatically show you the count of each columns. But here, if you are giving axis is equal to columns, they will get the count of each row in the data frame. And see, for each column, you can see axis is equal to, if you give axis is equal to index also, it will give you the non-null values in each column. Now, how to get the transpose of a data frame. What do you mean by transpose? Transpose of a data frame is rows are exchanged with columns and columns are exchanged with the rows. It is another way of writing a data frame. To get the transpose, you have to write DTF3 dot T. And you can see that your data frames, rows and columns has been interchanged. See the output. Now, how to print the value of a data frame object in NumPy. You know that data frame is having some values. When you use DTF3.values function, the content will be, what is printed is actually a NumPy array. It's not the data frame, it is a NumPy array. Only the values inside the data frame is printed. The data type of this output is actually the NumPy array. Now, how to select or access the data from the data frames? To select a single column, you can use the name of the data frame within square brackets, and in single quotes, you have to show you the column name. This is for selecting a single column. If you want multiple columns, you can see both the column names has to be given in single quotes. The output will be shown along with the index. Now, we have to write the uses of the following functions with the help of the example. It is already in the textbook. Please refer and write it in your notebooks. Now, what are the binary operations? Binary operations are operations which take 2 values as their inputs. The binary operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. And to do these operations on the data frames, we have some functions as well as symbols. Functions are, for addition is dot add function and dot r add function. Add function is normal addition, and dot r add is a reverse function, reverse addition, which means that if I am giving DTF1 dot r add DTF2, it means that DTF2 plus DTF1 is done. That it is reversing the order of the operands. Same, and you can use the symbol plus also to add the data frames. Similarly, subtraction, by multiplication and division, same. And one thing in this binary application is that the shape of both data frames need not be equal in all cases. If any of the binary operation is having a corresponding, it is not having a corresponding value in the second data frame, null values will be generated for the result. You can find the examples in the textbook. Now, how to retrieve the head and tail rows from the data frame? To retrieve top n rows, you have to use head function. Name of the data frame dot head within bracket. If you are specifying any number, that much number of rows from the data frame will be selected and displayed for you. And for selecting the bottom rows, you have to use tail function. Retrieves the bottom n rows in the data frame. The default value is 5. If you are giving some value, it will take that much number only. But if you are not specifying the value, it will take automatically 5 number of rows. So that's all for today. Thank you.